Hi, everybody. My name is Amy Stapleton. I am the founder of Tellables, and I wanted to talk to you for the next few minutes about some of the things that we've been doing to bring underserved authors into the world of voice. And I also wanted to spend just a couple of minutes and talk about what I think is an opportunity that we have as an industry that maybe we're not really taking advantage of. So I just want to kind of think about that a little bit. So before I start, I'm going to tell you a story about how I got into the world of technology. Because when I was younger, I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to be when I grew up. I liked artsy things. I liked, writing. And I just kept staying in school, taking more and more college courses because I just had no idea what I wanted to do as a career. So eventually, I had going for me two things. I could speak German because I learned German in college, and I was a native speaker of English. So I went to Germany, and I actually got hired by SAP to translate problem notes from German into English. And after I did that for a year, my supervisor gave me the opportunity to become a real software developer. And that was kind of a cool thing. I mean, that supervisor didn't have to do that. I didn't have the necessary background. I didn't have the education in that particular realm, but they took a chance on me, and because of that, I got into the world of technology, and now I'm, standing here pioneering with you guys this amazing space of voice first. So just kind of think about that. There are probably lots of you in the audience that went through a similar path where you didn't really know exactly what you wanted to do, but someone gave you an opportunity to become part of this field, and you're leveraging that now. So that's what I want to just kind of carry through this message here. All right, so we're at the beginning of something really interesting. If you think back to the very start of the new age of content delivery devices, that's what they are, right? I mean, they're content delivery devices. So when the first radio was invented, nobody was born knowing how to create really great content specifically for a radio format. But over time, a lot of people came together, obviously not just hardware engineers, but writers, creative thinkers, and they came up with a really good format for radio dramas, radio plays, and what we have today in streaming radio. Then television comes along. It's a completely new format. So we've already kind of figured out how to do things that we listen to, and now we've got to add images on top of that. It took another, a long time to figure out exactly what was going to resonate with viewers, how that was going to work. So we needed a lot of input from many different creative minds to come up with the best type of content for that platform. Now we've got this crazy, transformation of radios that are smart, that can actually understand what we're saying. They process it with some intelligence, and they talk back to us. The big question is, what makes great conversational content? And I don't think, we've figured that out yet. So if we haven't figured it out yet, what should we do? Well, I think we should try to invite as many different types of people to help us figure that out as possible. Now, generally we're a very inclusive bunch, especially in the voice world, and I know we bring together a lot of different disciplines. But I'm worried sometimes that maybe we fall into like the trap of talking about things in a certain way that only resonates with a certain type of person. As an example, I think we've kind of gotten into like a hackathon mentality recently. There's nothing wrong with a hackathon. I mean, hackathons are great, and I know a true hackathon is supposed to bring together people from all different functions, cross-discipline, the designers, your creative thinkers, your developers. But in reality, a hackathon resonates more or talks more to the development type of person. So for like the past 6 months, I've been working very closely with authors. So hobby authors, amateur authors, even people from middle schools. This is just like a collage of some of the actual people that I've been working with. I think they have a lot to offer us in these early stages when we're trying to figure out what makes great conversational content. But if we don't include them in our discussions, if we don't bring them in, we're not going to hear from them. And frankly, none of these people are going to go to a hackathon. They're not on those distribution lists. They probably don't even know what a hackathon is. So it's just something to keep in mind. I think we should do everything that we can to figure out ways to get people like this involved. So I'm thinking, maybe we have something like, we call it a bake-off. It's just a silly idea, and I don't even know how it would work. But I think we need to be creative about coming up with concepts that speak to like a larger audience. And maybe instead of a hackathon, we could have a bake-off, and we could figure out the types of things that would bring people in, that would get them working on conversational content, that could help us get to the next level. So to kind of stick with the vein of the theme of desserts and sweets, I'll show you one of the projects that we've worked on at Tellables, and that's the concept of the box of chocolates. So again, I'm not here to promote the skill, but just to explain how it works, because I think it's a creative way to try to get more people involved. And so what we've done is we have published a live skill on Amazon Alexa. You say, Alexa, open my box of chocolates, and every month you get a new assortment. It's almost like an anthology of stories, because each chocolate represents a story. And what we've done is we have invited amateur authors, independent authors, hobbyists, whatever, to submit stories to us, and then we publish them as part of the collection. So we have a template, they can fill it out, they can submit the story. And when I first started working with authors, I'll go to maybe an open mic night or a slam poetry thing. Like, only 1 in 10 of these authors even has a voice assistant. And the ones that have the voice assistant didn't even realize that you could do like creative things with them. They hadn't even heard of blueprints or any of that stuff. So I explained that I have this ability to take their story and put it into this virtual box of chocolates that we have. It's an imaginary world where we have chocolatiers that tell the stories, and I give them some direction on how that works, and we use the SSML for the story. And even though it's not a perfect experience, they're just really, really happy to participate in this. They think it's so cool. They can give me their story. Then the next month when they open up the box, they can actually hear their story. They can share it with a friend or whatever, and it brings them into the voice world. And then I start to get feedback and get more ideas of how we can make the experience better. So we've published 8 boxes since last December. And you can see, the creativity is pretty amazing. So I worked with a group of authors in Florida on the false key assortment. They've already published several books about this imaginary island off the coast of Key West. They're all kind of, weird fantasy stories. And you can see the chocolates represented in the box. It just shows kind of the imagination that they have. So I really just wanted to come and talk to you about what we're doing and see if maybe everyone in the audience can think of ways that they can more creatively reach out to different types of people, bring them into the industry, and let's work together, because it's to all of our benefits to figure out what makes great conversational content. So if you'd like to talk about that more with me, I'm at Table 1 in Startup Alley, and would love to talk to you further about it. Thanks.